Welcome to Health Tips, guys! Around here, we're just nuts for any good healthy food we can find. That's the only pun we'll make, we promise. But it seems like a good lead into today's topic: peanuts. As a quick aside, peanuts aren't actually tree nuts. They're actually a legume. More closely related to beans than they are to the many nuts that grow on trees. But enough about that. Today, let's discuss some reasons to eat peanuts every day. First, let's go over the nutritious value at a glance. When eaten raw, you can expect to get roughly 25 grams of protein for every 100 grams of peanuts you eat. You'll also be getting an impressive 8 grams of fiber and a whopping 50 grams of fat. Now that last one may sound like a bad thing at first, but remember that not all fat intake is bad. Peanut fat mostly comes from unsaturated fat, both polyunsaturated and monounsaturated. The bad reputation that fat gets comes from saturated fat, which isn't common in plant-based foods. So the fat you're actually getting from peanuts is a necessary tool for your body to use in the best form that you can get it in. Unsaturated fat tends to be great for keeping your cholesterol in check and for heart health in general. So whereas the saturated fats in dairy products and fatty meats could give you a heart attack, the unsaturated fat in a delicious cup of peanuts will actually decrease your risk of both heart attacks and strokes. Of course, it's important to note that enough is still enough. We're not recommending that you fry everything you can in peanut oil. Far from it. The naturally occurring fat in peanuts does its best when you enjoy it as nature intended, straight out of the shell. Though boiling them certainly wouldn't hurt anything. Peanuts are also an excellent source of protein, something not many plant-based foods can claim. Roughly 25% of each peanut's total calories is pure protein. As you no doubt know by now, protein is absolutely necessary for building muscle mass. Even if you're not particularly fond of the gym, your body requires protein in order to repair your muscles properly after every little action you take. It's always working, whether you realize it or not. That's why healthy sources of protein are so important to your everyday routine. Do keep in mind, of course, that proteins largely come from arachidine and conarachidine, which can be severely allergenic to certain people. Peanut allergies are one of the most common and most deadly allergies out there. We know that some of you are probably rolling your eyes, thinking that it's common knowledge. But this is important information to anyone who's about to try peanuts for the first time, especially young children, so we decided it would be best to mention it. Peanuts only consist of around 15% carb content. So yes, if the first thought you had was that they're great for weight loss, you're correct. Having mostly healthy fats and a low carb percent allows peanuts to sit in that rare and vaulted pantheon of foods that won't make you fat and still taste amazing. Their low-carb status is also significant because of the glycemic index. The glycemic index, or GI, is essentially a mathematical way to look at how fast carbs will become active after ingestion. Peanuts specifically happen to be low in carbs while also being high in fat, protein, and fiber, so they have an excellent glycemic index. This means that diabetics and pre-diabetics can safely snack on peanuts without fear. Besides, peanuts are extremely rich in antioxidants. Antioxidants do come up an awful lot when you're talking about health. But they're so instrumental to reducing the wear and tear on your cells that you absolutely need to know about them. There may be some bad news mixed in though. Most of the antioxidants are located in peanut skin, the thin layer underneath the shell of raw peanuts. If you truly can't stand to eat those thin little skins, it isn't the end of the world. But do keep in mind that a lot of nutritious value is lost by throwing it out. The kernels themselves do include multiple antioxidants on their own though, so it's not like you'd be getting nothing out of the exchange. Some of the antioxidants in peanuts also have been linked to a reduced risk of cancer and heart disease as a bit of a bonus. Do you know that just like almost any other plant-based food, peanuts have an impressive list of vitamins and minerals that they can contribute to your diet? Vitamin B1 helps your body digest carbs and your organs wouldn't function properly without it. Vitamin B3 reduces your risk of heart disease and is used throughout the body. Vitamin E is a strong antioxidant, protecting your cells from breaking down, which is often found in fatty foods. Biotin and folate both have an increased importance during pregnancy, in addition to other essential functions. Peanuts also contain some phosphorus, magnesium, manganese, and copper. Before anyone asks, yes, your body does intake and utilize trace amounts of copper. But please, don't go eat a coin because that's not how you're meant to get it, we promise. As with many of the foods we discussed on this channel, peanuts seem to actively reduce your risk for multiple problematic conditions such as heart disease, stroke, and oddly enough, gallstones. The prevailing theory for that last one is that since peanuts lower cholesterol, they end up removing a portion of the content that would otherwise form into gallstones before it can ever be a problem. Other than that, we briefly mentioned that peanuts are good for weight management, but just how good are they? Observational studies have repeatedly shown that peanut consumption may help to maintain a healthy weight and reduce your risk of obesity. Chiefly, it's expected that their high-fat content, being mostly healthy fat, reduces the body's cravings throughout the day without contributing significant weight gain on their own. Thanks to this reduction in appetite, you end up eating less than you might have otherwise and tend to lose weight as a result. More controlled studies have found that while peanuts don't seem to directly reduce weight, they tend not to have much effect on weight when casually added to a diet. And one 6-month study in women found that replacing key parts of the diet with peanuts does seem to reduce weight, likely in part due to the phenomenon described previously. Of course, it also helps that peanuts are so high in insoluble dietary fiber, since that tends to come with a reduced risk of weight gain as well. While peanuts are by and large good for you, we always strive to be objective here. Aside from the allergy dilemma, peanuts also contain a number of anti-nutrients. Phytic acid in particular is an anti-nutrient that makes it harder for your body to absorb iron and zinc. The small doses you're likely to get aren't a major concern, but it's worth noting that a diet oversaturated with legumes may eventually run into some problems. The only other risk that comes to mind is relatively universal. Peanuts, like any other plant-based food, are susceptible to infections that can be hard to detect at a glance, including dangerous mold infections. Always be careful to buy from sources you can trust and make it a point to inspect your food carefully upon purchase. Of course, those risks shouldn't stop you from eating peanuts. They're an amazing healthy food with copious benefits that will aid you in your daily life. As always, it's our pleasure to research the many great options available for you to get through the day healthy and well. At this point, it's also worth checking out our What Happens If You Eat an Avocado Every Day video for some more healthy tips. Remember to give this video a big thumbs up if you find it useful, and subscribe to Health Tips for more upcoming informative health content. Always remember, your health, your life, your priority. Cheers!